There we go. AM session. Welcome back. Welcome back. And we'll see what we get. I mean, generally looks like the setup is escaping me already, but I guess that's fine. If that's the case, then I will have to live with that. But nonetheless, the idea that I was painting for today, here during the London Open session Silver Bullet, I was stating that I favor a run towards those equal highs here buy side first, and then likely sell off towards the old low in here, relative equal lows actually, right? And that's technically or basically what developed. The long session made a little deeper leg lower, running some sales liquidity first, then made this displacement that was used during the pre-market hour or hours, and basically from 7 to 9 o'clock it delivered the run to the buy side, and ever since the price is heavily dropping. It already came back and gave a touch to this as inversion for value gap that would have been or could have been a setup for me if it happened during or after the 10 a.m. right, because that's the model that I'm using. It happened prior to that, so that's just a missed entry on my side here and nothing I can do about it. Unless after 10 a.m. this low is still unmatched, then maybe we'll still see some measure or some kind of run that will yield the sales liquidity here. Regardless of what will happen, that's kind of the idea that I had. But yeah, in my opinion though, I still would suspect that it shouldn't be just a shallow run on those lows here. I wouldn't be surprised if we would drift deeper towards this low here, or at least the body in here. I mean, that would make sense for me personally on the downside. But yeah, obviously that's something to be seen, to be exploited during this morning session. Yeah, generally the majority of the Asia London session into pre-market really was pretty much consolidated. There wasn't much movement at all happening, so there is quite a chance that the AM session will move quite decently. Unless we are coming back inside this inversion for value gap here again after we rejected the salsa liquidity here at equal lows. Those run only on a shallow basis with a week. And again, I mean, I still consider this salsa liquidity old low to be potentially targeted, even though I'm aware that Nasdaq already smashed its lows here. I would like to see a little bit of weakness at matching that type of run on ES. But yeah, we already traded back into this here and we are back above it. Interesting. It's 9:50, so 10 minutes before the 10 a.m. This is technically like a high, low, higher high. It's kind of like a breaker here. So it should see some measure of resistance nonetheless in this general area. We also have this busy right here. I would like to annotate that for completeness sake. That's a nice busy that still could be used as a potential inversion for value gap inside of this price run to potentially yield a run below the sales liquidity. But again, I need to wait until 10 a.m. for anything that I could possibly engage with. And at this moment, I favor still lower, and I will look for a setup to form that provides that. But yeah, regardless, the next 9 minutes, I'm basically waiting. So let's see what we get. We definitely left relative equal highs in here. That's definitely there. We have relative equal highs, and the high to the right is lower than the high to the left. But yeah, I mean, it's quite difficult to see that we will run up there again. We shouldn't really, in my mind. But we'll see what we get eventually. The focus is still on the sell side predominantly, so any bullish erase, any bullish fair value gaps, order blocks, breakers, whatever, should not send price aggressively higher if it's actually gonna go lower, right? So far we tap into this busy fair value gap and we see a measure of strong reaction to the upside. So that in itself makes me wanna stay on the sideline for a bit and measure this range from high to low and expect the potential run into premium of that range, back into premium of that range. We'll see. We did tap into this change the sale delivery bearish order block here. Definitely we did that. Ideal, I mean perfectly to the tick. This premium week we couldn't close above that, and we are back down into this busy. So not looking very, very, very strong. Also, the bodies are staying at or below consecutive encroachment here. So that's quite interesting so far. All right, interesting how this 949 busy didn't saw any body close inside of it, and price basically was capped by the consecutive encroachment so far. So that's interesting. That may give a little bit of steam to send it short term higher. Let's see. So yeah, I mean that's kind of like the draw on the downside here that I like, but yeah, I wouldn't want to see this level tapped only. I would like to see a expansion below that actually. So let's see if that will be possible at all. Let's see. So far, the body's perfectly respecting the lower half on the 5 minute. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. If I were short in here, I would like that signature in itself. For 4 more minutes. Let's see what we get. I would assume that if we would close below it, this could act as a potential inversion for value gap. That could send us into the low. But yeah, let's not you know, go too far ahead of the curve. Two and a half more minutes for this to enter the 10 to 11 silver bullet. And so far I'm thinking about this 948 as a potential inversion for value gap to sell into and run into the sell side here. And below, possibly. Yeah, this is the potential inversion for value gap here. Let's see, 1 minute left. Yes, something like this I would like to entertain. Best case scenario, obviously. We'll see. We'll see, because if it wants to give me that higher inversion for value gap, I'll take that. And apparently it did. So yeah, I got filled on the 5-minute inversion for value gap here. That I would like to I would like to see the price being resisted here and ultimately roll over and attack this low and potentially lower. We have a high, low, higher high breaker here, breaker block in here. And yeah, I assume that if I'm correct on my assumptions, this is what I want to see deliver. If I'm not correct, then price will explore higher prices. But that's, I guess, how I want to keep it for now. And let's see. It's post 10 a.m. I got the feel at the inversion for value gap that I wanted. So now it's kind of like showtime, right? So it's either it will work out in my favor and run the sell side or not. Whatever happens, happens. That's the trade I wanted to entertain. I feel like stop loss is fair. It shouldn't be too tight. Shouldn't be too tight. If it goes there, it's probably not as good for me for this session. Can it go there? Sure. If I'm incorrect, but at the same time, I should have enough room to breathe and let it deliver off of that inversion. So we'll see. Breaker, inversion for value gap, and sell side liquidity still resting down there. Interesting fact, the consecutive encroachment of this discount week here on the 5-minute, we close below that, so I like to see that also. So, yep. Well, we'll see. I mean, still fighting here a little bit, but it's very early into the 10 a.m. It's basically just begun, and it gave me a potential setup that I like. So it either goes and has plenty of time to explore lower prices, or it won't, right? But yeah, the logic that I like is there. So um, oh well, disconnected me. Oh well, it disconnected me completely. Interesting. Give me a second. I'm trying to get back in. And I'm back in. But yeah, we are at the high of this inversion for value gap, trading into the breaker also. This is more or less the area that I would like to see price start failing and starting to trade lower. Otherwise these lows on ES are being sold as pretty suspect. But yeah, nonetheless, let's keep it going, keep it flowing until we don't decisively close above this inversion. It should be still doable. Obviously, ideally, if the body stay in the lower half, then that's best case. But yeah, it's not looking that easy, right? It starts pumping above it, and yeah, truth to be told, there is a small little inefficiency here and here that it may want to retrade back into. Obviously, I would prefer not to, but yeah, this is as far as I would willing to let it be. And let's see, the stop loss is there to do its job. I'm not over leveraged, so if I lose, I'm completely fine with that. And let's see. I like the initial rejection of this inversion there. If we could came all the way down and close lower, that would be a very good sign. That would be a very good sign. I like that flip from being bold bullish here and now bearish like this. If we can close lower, then that's actually very good. And that was just coloring outside of the lines above the inversion for value gap. All right, so what I'm doing right now, I'm measuring potential swing projections, measuring from the low here to the high and projecting that range to the downside. 50% is around here. That's where my limit is, best case scenario. So that would be like a reasonable expectation on the downside. Twenty more seconds to this candle closes. And there we go. It closed actually below this inversion value gap here, respecting the low of it with the bodies. Couldn't even close inside of it, while the wick went all the way up into this little area here and rejected. That should reject strongly to the downside now. And it should seek the sell side below that all low quickly. I don't think we need any price action in the upper half of this inversion value gap at all. If it does, then I'm 90% wrong about the idea. But I'm sticking to the original case. Because yeah, this candle here formed also a premium wick right? So I mean, consecutive encroachment of that week would be as far as I would like to see price go. Which is here. So we touched that already. A reaction off of that, it should sell off immediately afterwards. Let's see, but yeah, it really looks like ES should be released off of this holding pattern, and it should be just nailing to the downside like crazy. If not, then, well, I don't know, then there are some shenanigans. All right, so we see initial acceleration here off of this consecutive encroachment there. And yeah, attacking this low quickly would be the next objective. And then we want to really lose ground, like literally large ranges, exploring into the sell side. Nothing shallow, nothing iffy. All right, and I mean, now that's the thing that I don't like trading back into this inversion value gap again. Like, I really don't like that. I really want to see this fail to reach up into it and then just, lose ground. I don't think there is any reason for the price to needing to be coming back into it again anytime soon. It should just lose ground and attack the sell side. And that's what I would expect. So let's see. Let's give it some time. Let's give it some room. and let's not flounder with it unless it clearly goes against what I expect. So yeah, in my mind, the idea about holding price in this general vicinity of this support, classical support area, because yeah, we had relatively cool lows and we rallied away from that, right? So now we come back to it, so it should act as support. And price is being held and worked kind of like it's working off that support, right? So in my mind, I would love to see people being trapped long, trying to get some longs, trying to catch a low of the day here, while when the time comes, they will just take it and sink it below the sell side and deeper and have an easy ride lower. But yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. We'll see if that will unfold or not. I really want to leave this range that we are in here, because all of this is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's really balanced, right? So we want to see price start displacing away from that box of price action. All right, all right, all right. This candle, I like that it opened, it traded at higher, failed to reach the inversion for value gap, and closed all the way near the low. So that would have been or could have been a nice preludium to rolling over. But yeah, it's definitely taking its time, which I don't like generally. All right, so let's see if we can bulk up a run below that short-term low and then just lose ground, like quickly, like displacement, like energy. Okay, it's not. It looks like it's actually coming back to that inversion, and that's something that I don't necessarily like. Okay, I don't necessarily like to see that. Um, After we already traded up and down, up and down, up and down, back and forth inside this little range in here, I really, really don't like to see what I'm seeing in terms of that return. But at the same time, it gotta be permissible, right? It gotta be permissible. So if that's the case, I want to see immediate response, immediate feedback that it's resisting this area. And so far, it showed that at this moment. On this, with this candle here, look what happened. It opened up here. It rallied all the way up into this inversion for value gap, failed to reach the consecutive encroachment of this week and consecutive encroachment of the inversion for value gap, and rejected all the way down back to the opening price of this candle. It has still 2 minutes until close, but right away that's a signature that I like to see while being short. The follow-up signature that I would like to see and furthermore be confident about the idea would be taking out the short-term low at 945 with a measure of displacement. But yeah, that's about it, right? Yes, all right. So for the notes, this return back up higher here, that's where I think I might get it wrong and I might get stopped out. Because again, I don't like that deep retracements into this inversion. It shouldn't be the case at all. But yeah, until I'm proven otherwise, until we post a close, then I'm just suspecting or anticipating that it will fail, but it might still deliver, right? So I guess until it actually fails, the idea is still open, but the delivery itself within this all of this consolidation, that's something that I don't like and it's problematic. But yeah, that's it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, this starts also looking too much of a bear flag here, and I don't like that, because they may want to play with that logic here. And yeah, at the same time, Nasdaq was actually making lower lows. Nasdaq was actually making lower lows while ES is being held clearly. And yeah, that can lead to a measure of manipulation against me that I may not weather with my stop loss here. Tough spot. I don't know. I feel like this is like a fake SMT here. In terms of like, there is no reason for this thing to be bullish here. It should just sell off, literally. But there is a measure of manipulation in here for sure, based on how they are holding the price and just not allowing it to move freely. It's not allowed to match with NQ either. So there is some business happening there that's potentially manipulated, or highly manipulated, I should say. And there you go. We closed above the consecutive encroachment of both the week and the inversion for Y gap. And that's like a big red flag. That's something where taking the closing the position off here is something that wouldn't be necessarily a mistake, I feel like. But at the same time, the manipulation kind of like requires or need to allow for further coloring outside the lines too, right? I don't think anything changed fundamentally about this sell set being the draw. It's still the draw. It's more of like how they are willing to trap people and to deal damage to people that are engaging with the price here. And yeah, the first 30 minutes you already should be booking way lower if it were moving freely, but it's not. It's being held, it's being prevented, which I guess ahead of FOMC day might be a somewhat of a reasonable expectation, but still Well, it's hard one. It's hard one, really. I mean, look at this consolidation here. It's time distorting, yes. But yeah, I mean, it kind of build up some relative equal highs, relative equal lows, and I'm not in a control of what they want to actually deal first, how they want to deal the cards. And I don't know, it feels a little bit unruly. So yeah, maybe taking it off here and just, you know, calling it a day uh, wouldn't be a bad choice for sure. But yeah. Yes, I was in London. I took a trade in London, yes. But I was able to close it by hand uh, before my stop loss would have been engaged, which allowed me to save majority of the stop uh, and only take like a 2 handles loss, small little loss, which yeah, technically doesn't meet my uh, loss limit for today, as it was technically like a break even. And yeah, I decided that if I will want, I can engage the price action during the morning session, if obviously if it will make sense. And yeah, I like the price, I like the structure, I like the idea, I like everything about it, besides how price is actually spending how much time in this area. That's what I don't like. That's the only element that I don't like. I would like to see price leave this area and roll over into the sell side, but it's clearly refusing to do so. It's clearly refusing to give up the ghost, which, you know, yeah, I'm taking the risk of being stopped out here for sure. Right, so I was one tick away of getting stopped out. It would need to turn around immediately after taking this buy side. Can it happen? I guess sure, but will it happen? Not today. All right. I mean, I guess fair enough. Of a result. I tried. I had the idea in my mind. I was really. I executed properly. Everything was dealt properly. In my mind, I was aware that at some point it was too much time being spent here, which made me which made this trade problematic. I was aware of that. I could have closed it by hand, saving the stop, but I decided to try to weather the risk in here and stick with the idea until the full stop. And I got, you know, stopped out. So regardless, that's it for today. Enough is enough. I suppose I will add the loss to the scoreboard, and that's literally it. Very poor delivery after all.